Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Court with Harvard Council Motivational Session. Today, I want to talk to you from the subject of it's time to get out of the shallow waters. It's time to get out of the shallow waters. And I want to share a little scripture from the Bible to kind of open up my message and get you to understand what I'm talking about it's time to get out of the shallow waters. In the book of Luke, it talked about 4 fishermen. They went fishing one day, and they've been fishing all day long, okay? And they caught nothing that day, all right? So at the end of the day, they were on the sides, cleaning their boats out, cleaning the nets up, getting ready to pack it in. So Jesus was out there in the middle of the ocean speaking to a crowd of people. And he noticed them on the sideline, and so he told Simon, he said, I want you to come back out here, and I know you've been fishing all night, but I want you to cast your net out into the deep. Cast your net out into the deep. And Simon said, hey, man, we've been out here fishing all day. You know, this is what I do. I'm a professional fisherman. We ain't caught nothing all day, all right? And you want me to go back out here and cast out into the deep? And I've been out here fishing all day and I ain't caught nothing. But he said, nevertheless, at your word, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cast this net out. And when he did that, he caught so many fish that his net began to break. All right. And he had to go back and get some people on the sideline to come and help him gather up all the fish. There were so many. Okay. But the only reason he was able to get that many fish is because he cast out into the deep. And what I want to talk to you today about is that a lot of times in our life, all right, we're playing on the sidelines. We're playing in the shallow water, okay? And when you're in the shallow water, guess what? You can't get nothing done. All you're going to do is get your feet wet, all right? But if you're going to be successful and get out there and do the things in life that you want to do, you got to launch out into the deep, all right? And you don't know if it's going to happen or not. Simon didn't know if it was going to happen or not if they cast that net out. But they went out there and they did it anyway, and they got something. So what we got to do is we got to get up off of the couch and stop being lazy, okay? And go out and cast our net out into the deep, all right? Because you think about it. If you're at a pool and you're sitting on the edge of the pool where the shallow water is, you're never going to learn to swim right there. The greatest swimmers are out in the deep. You learn to swim better when you're out in the deep parts of the ocean, when you're out in the deep part of the water. You can't get nothing done on the sideline. You've been sitting there for 10 years now waiting for something to happen. It ain't going to happen because you're still on the sideline. You got to get up off the sideline and go out into the deep. That's where the success at. That's where the fish are at. If you want a great catch of fish, get off the sideline. Get out of that shallow water. Cast your net out into that deep. Okay? You've been wanting to do something in life all this time. All right? And you haven't done it yet. I'm talking to you today. It's time for you to get up and go out and cast your net out into the deep so you can catch that fish and be successful. Okay? Catch and stop being afraid. You know, so many times we get afraid. And I said this before, and it bears repeating again, is that, excuse me, is that sometimes, you know, fear can just hold you back and stop you. But you can't allow fear to keep you from moving forward. Okay, and I talk about this before on some of my other videos is that, you know, even my situations, man, there's situations where I wanted to do stuff and I was afraid. All right. And I had to understand that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. So, you know what? And I talk about the books that I've written, and I talk about the basketball camps that I've done, and I talk about starting this motivational program. You know what? I was a little bit afraid too. But you know what? I had to get off the sideline. I had to get out of the shallow waters and go out there into the deep and at least give it a try. Because you never know what's going to happen until you give it a try. We got to give it a try. Get off the sideline. So I had to jump out into the deep. All right. And I made some mistakes along the way, and I've had some failures along the way. But guess what? It taught me a lot when I went out there. All right. And I think I'm doing some things now that I've been successful with because I took a chance, because I got off the sideline. I got out of the shallow waters and I went out into the deep. And that's what we've got to do. You got to get off the sideline and you got to get into the deep. All right. You got to do some things that you've never done before. You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Okay, let me say that again. You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because the only way you're going to go out in that deep and you can't swim is that you got to have a comfort level, a certain comfort level to go out there and do it. Okay, and I want to share this little quote with you. It says that in life, if you bargain for a penny, life can give you no more. In life, if you bargain for a penny, life can give you no more. If you're going to sit there on the sideline and you're going to stay there in the shallow waters, I can't give you no more than where you at. But if you bargain to go out here in the deep, guess what? I can work with you now. I can give you something that you've already bargained for. But if you're telling me all you want is a penny, that's all I'm going to give you. If you're telling me you want greater success and you want to do big things, guess what? I can help you with that if you go out and do that. But I can't give you no more than what you bargained for. Okay? So today, I challenge you to get off the sideline, to get out the shallow water, cast your net out into the deep. And when he cast his net into the deep, he caught so much fish that his nets began to break, and he had to call in backup to help get all those fish that were out there. Your success is out there, waiting for you. Cup running over, but it's waiting for you. But you got to go out there. It ain't going to just run over because you're sitting on the sideline. You got to go out there in the deep and let it overflow you. So I challenge you today to take that step and get out that shallow water. Be blessed.